And now back to the Full Court Press with your host, Drew Duncan. Don't you dare touch that dial. Had a secondary dream. Charles Tillman from the Chicago Bears, former cornerback who retired merely a season ago, has already said that he is, quote, joining the FBI. According to, 7, 8 different trustworthy sources. So this is a quote right here from Charles Tillman. So I'm all about our military and supporting our men and women in uniform. I'm also interested in helping officers and law enforcement. I'm big into that. A lot of my friends are law enforcement officers, and I support them all as well. He went on to talk about his deep, deep passion for the military, noting that his uncle was in the Army for 30 years and his mother-in-law was a Marine. According to the FBI's website now, special agent training, which is what he wants to do, is about 20 weeks for prospective agents. You're what is it, like 800 hours, I think they said, in coursework. And then it's academics, case exercises, firearms training, and operational skills. So there's that. I guess that's Charles Tillman's backup dream. Like, hey, bro, I've lived life, and now I'm going to be a FBI agent. Secret agent, man. Charles Tillman going 007 on him. Can you imagine being I don't know what I would do, right? Like if I woke up one morning and my son looked me dead in the face and he's like, and my high school days are over. I'm not really sure how I feel about college. I want to be an FBI agent. Like, what? Oh, man. I mean, that's deep, brother. That's deep. And, it's not like, and I think this is the thing that we forget, right? Charles Tillman is still an athlete. I don't know how well he's going to do with secrecy and all, just because he was an athlete and he was with the Chicago Bears. But then again, wearing a helmet most of the time, how many people would really recognize him just walking down the street? So, I mean, I guess you got that. Because I got to tell you, if I saw Charles Tillman, I probably wouldn't know who he is. That's no disrespect to Tillman. But, I mean, hey. I wonder if they'll give him a different nickname like Peanut. Because, he's already got the nickname of Peanut, right? So, like, instead of 007, would be like Peanut 07, Agent Peanut. That's the other thing. He is an athlete. You got to remember that, too. Like, it's crazy because we think, in terms of, like, he retired at what, age 35, 36. So a lot of people go, man, Charles Tillman's so old. Charles Tillman isn't old. He's not even 40 yet, and he's beginning a new career. You know what that is really actually a very cool thing. Not to be corny, but it is. It's a cool thing. Because last night, I was sitting there and I was going over all the different things that I could talk about. And I was like, this one is kind of negative. This one's a little negative. And I'm like, man, how am I going to spin this Charles Tillman story to make it interesting? Man, maybe we should try doing this. Maybe we should try, and I went through all these different things, right? I had all these little quips, right, that I'd wrote down. I was like, man, maybe I should just Then I was like, no, I'm going to go think about it. I'm going to go see a movie. So I went and saw a movie. I saw Wonder Woman. Good and bad. There were some really cool parts, and there were some other parts where I was like, this is a little too corny, but it is what it is. And when I got home, I just really didn't mess with it. And I woke up this morning and I thought, okay, bro, you've got to do something to make this interesting because you want to talk about it. But then I realized it's a cool story in itself. Because at age whatever, and it was late 30s for Charles Tillman, he's giving himself another beginning. The guy is clearly still in phenomenal shape, which obviously you have to be when you're going into this kind of training, right? It's not something to where you can sit around behind a desk eating donuts all day, unless that's your job, I guess. But clearly Tillman wants to be in the field. He wants to be an active part of what's going on. And what I love most is the courage to go for it. Look, there's a lot of us that don't ever accomplish our dreams because we just don't have the courage. And if anybody thinks he's going to get a pass because he's Charles Tillman and he used to play in the NFL, I think you have another thing coming. The only thing that would help him in that regard is his athletic prowess. Some of the things he did in college that he talked about, but I just think that there's a lot of good life lessons to learn from this. It's never too late to do what you want to do in life. And I think that Charles Tillman doing this as the next part of phase of his life, I think is just cool. Can you imagine all the guys who used to play football with him? They now may know an FBI agent. They may be like, yo, dude, you guys remember Peanut? Yeah, bro. Yo, Peanut's in the FBI now, man. He's in the feds, bro. Can you imagine? You know somebody working for the feds. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. That would be a crazy story to tell people. Yeah, I used to play football with this guy, and now he's in the feds. I can't really tell you about it, but yeah. Oh, man. Now, here's the antithesis to all this, right? The head of the FBI does all this kind of work and recruits everybody. He's not allowed to talk about it, so he won't confirm or deny whether or not Charles Tillman is just spewing things and Peanut's out there just trying to get a little media attention on him. But from the looks of things and from all the confirmed other sources, it does appear that Charles Tillman is real deal going for this, man. Age just doesn't define you. I know some people that are in their 50s and are in far better shape than I am. Far better. Age just does not define your body. Doesn't take it, it doesn't mean you're mine. None of that. It's the mentality, man. And I'm telling you right now, I think Tillman, if he's able to do this, could be great. Because I remember, and I've talked about this interview several times, but it seems like there's always something in there that is still relevant, even though it was like 2 years ago. I interviewed Howard Schnellenberger, right? First guy to win a national title with the Miami Hurricanes as a head coach. Had a phenomenal season with Louisville, turned that program around, got him a Sugar Bowl victory over Alabama. I think it was in 1990. Only coach with an undefeated bowl record, coached the youngest team ever in history to win a bowl game, more Hall of Fame players recruited by him, more head coaching Hall of Famers recruited by him, et cetera, right? So he flat out said, Howard Schnellenberger did, that there is no better training for the military than football. And he talked about how, we're not just raising athletes, we're raising fathers and we're raising soldiers. And then he said there's no better training to be in the military than there is that in the NFL. Well, think about all the pre-training that Tillman has done. All the heavy lifting, all the cardiovascular work, all the strength and conditioning, all the hours in the film room. Understanding and learning body language, learning eye contact, intimidation techniques. He's not afraid to fly an airplane because he took one wherever he went in the NFL. He's used to combat and physical contact. He's used to working long, demanding hours year-round. It's not as if Tillman's jumping into something that isn't a possibility that he hasn't already done some training for. Think about it. Former NFL cornerback. Well, that's another thing, is learn how to change things on the fly, right? When you're on the field, you got to make an adjustment. He's learned balance between keeping your eye on one person or multiple people, right? Because when you're in zone, you're looking in the backfield. So you're looking at the quarterback, kind of watching that running back out of the corner of your eye. Then you got a receiver you got to feel out, trying to see where he's at. When you're man-to-man, you're just one-on-one with that dude, man. Jamming him up hard. So you're used to hand-to-hand combat already. Tillman's not doing something that he's not really ready for. If anything, I would say he's more prepared, as Schnellenberger would tell you, than probably anybody going into training like this. That's pretty awesome. So there you have it. Charles Tillman, possible Federal Bureau of Investigations, former NFL cornerback, only 1 year removed from the game. Pretty damn good deal. This is the Full Court Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. You guys are checking me out live from the K-Sun Studios out here in Wichita, Kansas. You can be a part of the show by tweeting me. That's at DrewDuncan83. The official fan page of Full Court Press is on Facebook. And if you like Instagram, I am on there at DrewDuncan83. Folks, we're going to take a quick sponsor break. When we come back on the flip side, there's a lot more to get to. Don't you dare touch that dial.
Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name.